All right. So let's there's some of you have been having problems with this dilation thing. And originally I just planned to do it around the origin, but things have changed in life and so we do this. So what I have here is I have a graph and I have 2 points. I have a point A and a point P. So that says dilate point A about point P by a scale factor of 3. You guys can consider, if it makes it easier, consider point P the origin. And if you wanted to do that, you could just make an XY axis, make my XY axis. And now point P is the origin. So it doesn't really change whether it's the origin or it's just a point out in the middle of nowhere. What's really going to matter, remember what I told you before about the line always, all the points will always lie on a straight line between the original point and I said before the origin, but now we just got a point out in nowhere. So all the points will always lie. See if I can get that. Wasn't a very good one, but they'll always lie on a point along that line somewhere roughly. And my line's a little off. Let me make this little line a little different color. We'll make it red and we'll make it dashed so it just shows up there. It needs to be a little thicker. So no matter what point I get, it's going to follow somewhere roughly along this line. So it says a scale factor of 3. That means that I'm going to take whatever distance is between here and here, and I'm going to multiply it by 3. Literally, if I had a ruler, I could take and measure this distance, multiply that by 3, and plot my point out here. I don't have a ruler, I've got a graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, we'll make that a little different color, and we'll thicken that up so you can see it. So really, that was a terrible color choice. Let's pick something better, huh? There we go. So what I've got here is I've got 2 points, but now I've kind of made a right triangle out of it. Because in order to dilate it, what I'll need to do is move it down 3 times as many spaces and move it right 3 times as many spaces. So let's count down. It goes down 2, right? So down 2, and it goes right 1, 2, 3, 4. So down 2 and right 4. So if I multiply 2 by 3, let me go over here and hit some enters. So it went down 2, right 4. So if I multiply those and I multiply each of those by 3, my down, well, 2 times 3 is 6, and my right, 4 times 3 is 12. So down 6, right 12, and I'm going to do my little line connectors again. Down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and right 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'll put me right there in I'm going to change my line weight again so you can see it. Let's make that a lovely yellow there. So it goes down 2 and right 12. And you'll notice that that point, when I put that point there, it didn't bring the point. How rude. So when I put that point there, it falls. If my line had been straighter, it would have fallen straight on that line. So I dilated it. I dilated point A about point P. In this case, I put a grid over and called it the origin, but you don't have to. It really is just the difference in the direction, and it's always going to do that. So let's try another. This one says dilate point A about point P by a scale factor of 1/4. So I'm going to do the same thing, but here I'm doing a dilation going the other way. I'm going to make myself my little dotted line. Making the old dotted line right now. Hopefully not the world's best dotted line, but I can fix that. Better. And now I'll make that dotted. I'll darken it up and I'll make it red so we can see it. So there's my line. Whatever I get should lie somewhere because my lines aren't perfect, on that line. And actually, this line came out pretty well. So it says by a scale of 1/4, which means whatever it is, I'm going to divide it by 4. So let's find out how many down and how many right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it was down 4 and right 12. Well, that makes it pretty easy. So my numbers came as down 4, right 12. Now I'm going to divide each of these by, or I'm going to multiply them if you have, by 1/4. So down, what's 4 times 1/4? Well, 4 over 1 times 1 over 4 is 1. So down 1, right. What's 12 times 1/4, or 12 divided by 4? That's 3. So I need to go down 1, right 3. So I make my little goofy thing again. Down 1, right 3. And there's my new point. And there's my new point. I've dilated by a scale factor of 1/4. And again, you notice, remember, it falls straight on that line. You can literally, if you've got a straight edge and you're using your computer, you can put a straight edge along there. And if your point doesn't land on that line, you know you haven't gotten it right. Let's do another one where they're straight on the line. So this one here says, same thing, dilate point A about point P by a scale factor of 1/2. Now, the cool thing about this is it's really just on a straight line. Straight lines are great because you just got to figure out what you got. So how far is it from P to A? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 to A. So all I got to do is say 4 over. So what's 1/2 of 4? It's 2. So all I got to do is go over 2, and I've got my point. There is point A prime. So when it's on a grid line, that's pretty easy because your dashed line is literally your grid line. Let's do one more and move an entire figure. So this one says dilated triangle ABC about point P by a scale factor of 2. Remember, point P can be anything. If you want to make it the origin, that's great. If it's just hanging out here in the world, it's still great. We're going to make some lines. I'm going to make a couple of lines here. So I'm going to make my first line go through A, and I'm going to make it go really long here. I have to fix it over here. Okay, I'm going to make that one dashed. And I'm going to leave these kind of thin black lines so you guys can see it. I'll make my next one. Well, the next one's pretty easy. They all run straight along the grid line itself. So there it is. I've got my points. I know whenever I dilate this, these points, so point A is going to end up somewhere along this line, assuming that I made a good line, and points B and C are going to be on this line. So it says by a scale factor of 2. Well, let's find out P. So P, remember I'm locating, it goes 1, 2 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right. So P was up 2, right 5. Let me make the line there a little thicker so you can see it. Up 2, right 5. So if I want to multiply that or plot that by a scale factor of 2, I'm going to multiply each of those by 2. So I'm going to end up with 2 times 2, whoops, 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to up 2, right 10. So here I go, my up 2, right 10. up, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is, let's change that color a little bit so you can see what we got going. Oh, that's a terrible choice. So you can see what we got going. I'll make it darker. So there is my point A prime. There is A prime. Pretty simple to find and to deal with. Now, the other ones are going to be way easier because they're already on a straight line. So remember, I'm dialing it by 2, so I'm going to count over to B. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my new point for point B. Let me do that again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's my new point for B prime. And I'm going to do the same for C. Remember, the urge right now will be to match it. Count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to point C. So 7 times 2 is 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And now I got my 3 dots. All I got to do is make my triangle here. And let me go make some lines. And I can darken all these so you can see them. And there's my triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, or A apostrophe, B apostrophe, C apostrophe. And you look at them, they look alike. So hopefully that helps. Don't get overwhelmed. Remember, you can do these assignments as often as you like until you get the grade you want.